Alright guys, it's 2024 and there's no reason to buy alkalines anymore. There's an alternative option, which I'm sure you've seen, but you might not realize just how much better they are. These are nickel metal hydride batteries, and I'm going to use objective testing and data to show you exactly how and why these are better than alkalines in literally every way. So let's get into it. So let's just start with the obvious advantage first. Of course, a rechargeable battery is rechargeable. Versus an alkaline, it's only good for one use. Use it one time and it's literally garbage. By using rechargeable cells, you're reducing waste, it's better for the planet. However, the reason that I think is going to be more important to most people is actually money and savings. Let's just compare 12 packs of these AA's on Amazon. The Amazon Basics nickel metal hydride AA is one of the cheapest options available. In a 12 pack, it comes in at $1.35 per cell. The Venerable Eneloop comes in at $3 per cell, so quite a bit more expensive. And the Eneloop Pro comes in at a whopping $5.75. On the other hand, an Amazon Basics AA comes in at just 71 cents per cell. So on the surface of it, yes, the alkaline is way cheaper. But if we look at the Amazon Basics nickel metal hydride in comparison to its alkaline counterpart, just a single recharge of this battery, and it will cost less than one of the alkalines. So you can kind of already see why this is going to be a better value in the long run. But here's the thing, nickel metal hydride batteries are designed to last for 1,000 charge cycles. Now, at 1,000 charge cycles, this Eneloop, again, it costs $3 per cell, but if you actually used it 1,000 times, it would come out to less than 1/4 cent per charge. And if you were to recharge it and use it every single week, it would last for 19 years straight. Looking at the Amazon Basics, alkaline, one of the cheapest options, if you were to use just one of those every week at 71 cents per cell, it would cost over $700 to match the same number of uses as a single Eneloop. Duracell. What's one of their major pitches, one of their major selling points? It's how long these batteries supposedly last in storage. So this is a Duracell pack of D cell batteries. It says guaranteed for 10 years. Here's the thing with alkaline batteries. They always inevitably leak. It's just inherent to their design. It's not a matter of it's not a matter of if, but when these things are going to leak. On the other hand, Eneloops, basically, they don't leak. Now, it is technically possible for nickel metal hydride cells to leak, but it is very, very unlikely. You have to mistreat them. I've never actually seen it happen. What is a bigger issue is self-drain. So over time, the battery voltage will naturally fall. So if you leave these stored in a drawer or something and you don't use them for a long time, they may be dead when you pick them up. Some higher-end batteries, like the Eneloops, were designed specifically to combat this, so this really is not a concern with these batteries. And honestly, I don't think it's really an issue anyway, because if the battery's dead, you can just recharge it and use it again. These are the two best alkalines that I tested, the Energizer Max and the Duracell Optimum. Now, I have a device called a computerized battery analyzer, which allows me to apply a specific load and then graph the voltage drop of the battery over time. Between the two, I found that the Optimum was the better performer, lasting about 20 minutes under a 2 amp load. This is a pretty hard load, so it's really revealing on the performance of these batteries. When we graph the Eneloop in comparison, you can see that not only does it run nearly 3 times longer than the Optimum, but it maintains its voltage much more evenly and at a higher level throughout the majority of the run. Next, we have the Amazon Basics nickel metal hydride, which maintained a slightly lower voltage than the Eneloop, but actually ran a little bit longer. Next, we have the Rayovac Recharge, which was significantly worse than the other two, unfortunately, and yet it was still nearly twice as good as the Duracell Optimum. But how about a real-world example? Because that was a synthetic test. This is a Convoy T3. This is a flashlight that takes a single AA and is pretty powerful. It's about 180 lumens. Things get interesting when I actually graph the output over time. You can see that the Energizer Max and the Duracell Optimum perform okay. So they run for about 30 minutes at max output before they kind of slope off and then die around 70 minutes actually for the Optimum. So technically it does run a long time, but it only maintains a high output for about half an hour. If we throw up the Rayovac Recharge, you can see that it runs for about 45 minutes at this highest output before it drops. So much better performance at the output that we actually care about. Now, once it dies, it does die much faster. It technically doesn't last as long as the Optimum, though it still lasts longer than the Energizer does. If we bring up the nickel metal hydride batteries that are actually good, we see another huge boost in performance. So the Eneloop and the Amazon Basics both run for about 70 minutes before they die, with the Eneloop being slightly brighter than the Amazon Basics. So this is a real-world example of the differences in performance between the two, which is to say that the nickel metal hydride batteries last, at least the good ones, they last at least twice as long as the Alkalines, and they maintain their high output for pretty much that whole time. Okay, this is a device which I've used extensively for the last 9 years now. This is an audio recorder, and it came with 3 disposable alkaline batteries when it was new, which I replaced with these Rayovac Recharge cells, which were gifted to me by a friend. They were used at the time, but I've used these same cells in this device for the past 9 years. In order to see how much they've degraded over the years, I tested them on the CBA and compared it next to a brand new Rayovac Recharge, and found that 2 of the batteries were very slightly worse than the new cell, and the third was very slightly worse again. They were pretty much the same, effectively no real difference. What's most impressive is that the very worst of these 3 batteries was still significantly better than the best alkaline cell that I tested. So really impressive showing here. Okay, let's do some math. This might blow your mind. So let's say you walk into a Walmart and you buy an 8-pack of batteries. The Duracell Optimum 8-pack costs $11.49, or $1.43 per cell. The Rayovac Recharge costs $18 for an 8-pack, or $2.25 per cell. Now remember, the Duracell Optimum was the best alkaline that we tested, and the Rayovac Recharge was the worst nickel metal hydride by a significant margin. And yet, the nickel metal hydride Rayovac Recharge lasted almost twice as long as the Alkaline Optimum in our benchmarks, which means that the Duracell Optimum's price advantage already disappears even without factoring in a single recharge of the Rayovac. Now, if we were to say that this Rayovac only gets 500 recharges, which is half of what it's rated for, it would still be worth 895 times the charge of the Duracell Optimum. In other words, if you wanted to buy enough Optimums to match the lifetime charge of a single Rayovac Recharge nickel metal hydride, you would need to spend on these $1,279. So yeah, I rest my case on that one. So okay, I know this video probably wasn't super exciting to watch, but it is a subject that I am very passionate about, and I really do hope that the data presented here is valuable to you. So I do ask, please share this video with anyone that might find it helpful. I am going to do a big giant roundup comparison of a bunch of different AA's, different chemistries, nickel metal hydride, alkaline, and lithium on this channel. So if you're interested in seeing more, please subscribe. And I will also link every battery featured in this video in the description. They will be Amazon links, so using those will support the channel a little bit. So if you do use those, I do appreciate it. But there's no particular bias towards any brands here. And yeah, again, I really do hope this video was helpful, and I hope you have a great day. Good luck with all your battery purchases. All right, I think that's it.